learning how to master artificial intelligence.
Huh.
It can feel a bit like being totally lost, right? Like inside this giant, chaotic library that just rearranges its shelves every single week.
Exactly. Yeah, new models, new tools, new books appearing almost daily, it seems. You're constantly chasing them, collecting information and courses, but you never actually settle down to finish building anything useful.
We feel that pain. So today, we are trying to provide the clear strategic map. This deep dive is your shortcut, hopefully, to stop wasting months just going in circles, trying to figure out where to even begin.
Yeah.
We're extracting the clearest path we could find to real AI proficiency from all the source material you shared.
And our core mission here is really about structure and mindset. It's not about chasing the specific tool of the week. We want you to stop kind of consuming and really start creating.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We're going to cover the 4 biggest, most common mistakes we see keeping people stuck in that cycle, that consumption cycle.
Then we'll tackle those essential tactical questions, coding, no code, what skills matter for the future. And finally, we'll map out a simple, actionable 4-phase plan, starting with systematic prompting.
Okay, let's dive right in. These 4 fatal flaws, as we're calling them. The core problem is people feel like they're making huge progress because they're just consuming so much material.
And they're busy.
But they're basically just running in place, spinning their wheels.
Okay, the first trap, and this one is so common, is starting over every single month. You see a new shiny tool getting all the hype on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And you pivot immediately. You think, this is the one that's going to solve everything.
And you spend maybe 2 weeks learning Tool A, then Tool B comes out, shiny and new. And you just abandon Tool A before you've used it to solve even one real problem. So after 6 months of this, you know a tiny bit, about 50 things maybe, but you're not genuinely proficient in anything useful.
Right. So the key solution here has to be commitment.
Right.
And it's tied directly to how variable AI can be, right?
It's exactly.
You need to choose 1 or 2 main tools, just 1 or 2. Yeah. Commit to them, like properly commit for at least 3 months. Because until you've logged hundreds of hours seeing their specific quirks, how they respond differently, that prompt variability, you haven't mastered them. You just haven't.
Which leads straight into mistake number 2. Collecting tools and courses like they're, baseball cards or something.
Yeah.
You join 10 paid Discord groups, subscribe to every single newsletter, buy courses, just in case you might need them later down the road.
Oh, the digital basement syndrome. I admit, I still have a course on some super niche subject from years ago sitting in my inbox. I'm pretty sure the digital dust on it is actually blocking useful emails now.
It happens, but you end up drowning in information. Your knowledge becomes like a mile wide, but only an inch deep.
So shallow.
The fix. Limit those sources dramatically. Choose, say, 2 or 3 experts you really trust. Follow them. And critically, pick one course and actually finish it. Like 100%. Do every single project in it.
Every single one.
We really can't overstate this. Quality always beats quantity here.
Okay, mistake number 3. This is prioritizing theory over practice. Violating the 20/80 rule. You can read every prompt guide out there, know all the concepts, but when someone asks you a specific question about applying it, you just freeze.
Yeah, because generative AI is uniquely unpredictable, right? It's not deterministic like normal software. Reading about prompting isn't remotely the same as actually testing the same structured prompt 50 or 100 times just to see the weird variations you get back.
That's totally different. So you got to adopt that 20% theory, 80% practice rule. Read about a technique. Okay, the next 5 minutes, you're in the tool testing it immediately. Give yourself a concrete small project. Like this week, I will build a little tool that automatically summarizes my weekly team meeting notes. Something real.
And that mindset ties straight into the last big mistake, learning just to get a certificate instead of learning to actually build something.
The certificate chase.
Yeah. If you stop the moment you hit a small, frustrating technical problem, you're stuck in that learner mindset. The critical shift is from learner to builder. You have to train yourself to push through and solve those tiny, annoying problems.
Okay, so if the core mistake boils down to prioritizing consuming information over actually creating something, what's the single most valuable mindset switch our listeners can make, like right now?
That valuable switch is focusing on finishing small projects. That provides the highest real-world motivation, much more than any course certificate.
That moves us nicely from mindset to Well, strategic planning. Let's hit those common tactical questions people ask once they're actually ready to commit. First big one. Should I learn to code?
Right. The short answer is, well, it really depends entirely on your goal.
Okay.
If you want to build completely novel systems, proprietary platforms with multiple users, stuff like that, then yes, you probably need to learn to code, like, professionally.
But for personal automations, or maybe automations within a business, the answer is a bit different.
Yeah.
And maybe more important for most people listening.
Exactly. For that, you probably need to spend maybe 5 or 6 hours just learning to read and understand the basics of code.
Read it, not necessarily write it from scratch.
Right. Things like what's a function, what's a variable, basic structure.
Why is that reading part so crucial?
Because AI, especially when writing code, it often hallucinates. It makes up names for functions or libraries that just don't exist. So you need enough foundational understanding to look at the AI's output and go, wait a second, that variable name makes zero sense here, or that function isn't real, so you can debug it quickly instead of being totally stuck.
That's a really great distinction. Okay, next question. What automations should a business build first? Where's the low-hanging fruit?
Start with the really predictable admin tasks, the stuff that doesn't need creativity, like automatically sending a welcome email right after someone makes a payment. Simple, reliable.
Makes sense.
You only bring AI into it when creativity is needed, A&D critically, when you can accept a few mistakes along the way.
Okay, like what?
Like using AI to read through customer feedback emails, maybe categorize the sentiment positive, negative, neutral, and then create a summary report.
Right. If it gets one or two wrong, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly. The mistakes don't stop the whole business.
And you should probably always prioritize tasks related to actually making money too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Automating things like sales emails or light categorization will usually give you clearer, faster results and ROI than, say, automating some random internal spreadsheet cleanup. Focus on revenue.
Okay, speaking of risks, voice AI agents. They're getting better fast, but where are they still tricky?
They are improving incredibly quickly, but yeah, they still struggle in the messy real world. Accents, background noise, people interrupting unexpectedly.
The unpredictability of humans.
Totally. So you have to assess the risk. If, say, 5 absolutely crucial calls bring in all the money for your company,
High stakes.
then 99% perfection from a voice agent probably isn't good enough. That 1% failure could be catastrophic.
But for other industries,
But for industries like, say, plumbers or roofers, where the workers are often outside, maybe can't answer the phone. An answered call from an AI agent, even if imperfect, is almost always better than a completely missed call and a lost job.
good point.
Yeah.
Use it where just getting the call answered adds clear value.
Exactly. Which kind of brings us to future skills. Most people, I think, focus on the wrong things here.
How so?
Well, the purely technical skill of connecting tools together, like knowing all the APIs, that's likely going to become less valuable over time.
Really? Why?
Because the big platforms are moving fast towards text-to-workflow. You'll just describe what you want in plain English, like, when I get an email with an invoice, save the PDF to this folder and add the amount to my spreadsheet.
And the system just builds it?
And the system builds the automation instantly.
Okay, that makes sense for speed, definitely.
Yeah.
But hang on, if we rely purely on that text-to-workflow from the big guys, doesn't that create a huge risk of vendor lock-in? Isn't knowing how to connect APIs yourself still crucial for long-term independence and flexibility?
That's the tension right there. You hit it. Yes, relying solely on the platform's magic button creates lock-in. So the skill of the future isn't just how the technical clicking or even coding, it's the strategic thinking.
The what and why.
Exactly. If you can technically automate almost anything easily, the real value lies in being the architect, not just the builder. Understanding what is actually worth automating, why, and maybe crucially, how independent those automated systems need to be from any single platform. That's the high-level skill.
Being the architect, I like that. Okay, last tactical point, dealing with skeptics. Your boss, your team, thinks AI is just hype or maybe even scary. What do?
Use the show, don't tell strategy. Every time. Focus on the problem you solved, not the technology you used, at least initially.
Don't lead with the buzzword.
Right. Don't start the meeting saying, hey, everyone, I used AI to solve this. Just say, hey, I made this little program or this little workflow that helped us do X task 3 times faster this week.
Let the results speak.
Let them love the result first. Then, if they ask how, you can mention, oh, I used an AI tool. Strategic thinking is kind of the new coding. How should someone actually prove that value, especially in an AI skeptic workplace?
Demonstrate the results first. Let that success create the curiosity about the how, rather than leading with a potentially scary or misunderstood technology buzzword. Okay, we've got the strategy, the mindset, but now we inevitably hit the jargon wall. Let's try and pull apart those two technical concepts that seem to confuse everyone when it comes to using AI with company knowledge, RAG versus fine-tuning.
Yes, definitely. Let's clarify these using simple analogies, so you know which tool fits which job, especially for internal company stuff.
Okay, let's start with AIR, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Can you break down that acronym first and then explain that smart librarian analogy?
Sure. So RG, think of it like hiring a super smart, incredibly fast librarian for your company's giant library of documents, policies, manuals, past reports, whatever.
Okay.
The AI model itself doesn't try to read and memorize that entire library. That's inefficient. Instead, when you ask a question, the RD system, the librarian, quickly retrieves just the most relevant paragraph or snippet from that external knowledge source.
Like the specific page in the updated policy manual.
Exactly, and it gives only that relevant snippet to the main AI model to help it form the answer. It augments the AI's generation with retrieved specific knowledge.
Got it. Okay, now fine-tuning. How's that different?
Fine-tuning is more like taking an already smart student that's the base large language model, like GPT-4 or Claude, and sending them to a very specialized finishing school. This school teaches them one very specific style or tone or personality. For example, learning the exact marketing voice of brand X down to the specific phrasing they always use. You teach the specific style using thousands and thousands of custom examples.
Ah, so it's about style and tone, not just pulling facts.
Primarily, yes. Or very specific, narrow knowledge domains not well covered by the base model. But here's the really key practical point. Fine-tuning should generally be your last resort.
Last resort. Why is that? Why is it difficult?
Because it's incredibly difficult and cumbersome to update. Think about it. Every time your company policy changes, or you have a new product detail, or you slightly adjust your brand voice,
You have to redo the whole thing.
you have to gather all the new examples, potentially retrain the entire fine-tuned model again from scratch, which is both time-consuming and often expensive. RAG, on the other hand, is much more dynamic. You just update the document library the librarian looks at. Much easier, much faster.
That makes sense. You know, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, where a prompt that worked perfectly last week suddenly starts giving me weaker responses.
Oh yeah, happens all the time.
Which is exactly why these systematic tools like RGID that offer more structured predictability are so important. It reduces that frustrating variability.
Definitely. Okay, moving to another comparison. No-code versus custom code for building these automations. No-code platforms like Zapier or Make, they are the clear winner for speed. You can often get something useful working in days or maybe weeks, not months.
Much faster prototyping.
And they're also usually best for difficult connections between popular online tools because they've already built all those API bridges for you.
Right, saves a ton of hassle.
Yeah.
So when is custom code better?
Custom code really shines when you have super strict security requirements that no-code platforms can't meet, or when you need to connect to very old, like pre-internet legacy systems that don't have modern APIs.
Okay, the edge cases.
Kind of, but here's that warning again, echoing the text-to-workflow idea. Tools like Cursor and others that help AI write code are blurring this line incredibly fast.
How so?
Well, soon, just describing an automation you want in simple English might actually spit out the full executable custom code faster than you could click and drag all the boxes in a traditional no-code tool. The landscape is shifting.
Wow, okay.
So, given that update difficulty we talked about with fine-tuning, does that basically make RGI the clear winner for companies that have, internal policies or knowledge bases that change pretty frequently?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
For keeping AI informed with dynamic, frequently changing external knowledge like company policies, support docs, product specs,
Yeah.
RH is generally the most efficient and practical method right now. It's designed for that, right? We've covered the mistakes to avoid, the strategic thinking. Now, this is the part everyone wants, the actionable plan. How do you actually move from zero knowledge to genuine expertise?
Let's map it out.
But first, maybe a quick piece of advice from the source material. Stick with the big players, right? Companies with strong support and resources like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, they're just the most likely to survive long-term and keep improving rapidly. Don't bet the farm on a tiny startup that might vanish next year.
Good point. Okay, phase 1. Get to know the tools and, crucially, build your taste. And start simple, like only use ChatGPT and Claude. Just those two.
No others?
Nope. Find their limits. Don't add anything else to your plate for probably 90 days. Seriously.
And the goal isn't just using them randomly, right? It's about learning when one model works better than the other.
Exactly. And always testing them with a real-world purpose or task in mind. You need to learn their distinct personalities, their strengths, their weaknesses, where they tend to fail.
Okay, phase 1, immersion and taste building. What's phase 2?
Phase 2 is the absolute foundation. This skill never gets old. Learn systematic prompting.
Why is this so fundamental?
Because good prompting works across all kinds of models. Text, image generation, code generation. It's not magic. It's a structured, repeatable skill for getting better results from any AI.
Okay, let's make that concrete. Compare a weak prompt versus a systematic one.
A weak prompt is just write a social media post. Vague, lazy.
Gets you generic results.
Totally. A systematic prompt includes specific elements. Think. RCTRO role. You are a witty social media manager targeting Gen Z. Context. Our brand is eco-friendly. The topic is our new recycled packaging. Task. Write a short, engaging Instagram caption. Rules constraints. Under 50 words include hashtag sustainable style, avoid the word amazing, and maybe output format. Just give me the caption text.
Oh, okay, much more specific.
That systematic approach dramatically guides the AI. It forces you to think clearly first about exactly what you want, which leads to a result that's far, far closer to your actual goal.
Makes sense, okay? Phase 3.
Phase 3 is stepping up to architecture and thinking about agents.
Define agent for us.
An agent, in this context, is basically an AI program that can autonomously perform a series of actions to reach a goal without you needing to click every single step along the way.
Like a multi-step workflow.
Exactly. Imagine instructing it. Okay, agent, check my main inbox every hour. If you find an email with invoice in the subject line from sender X, download the attached PDF, save that file into my invoices Q3 folder, and then automatically add the sender date and amount into this specific Google Sheet.
Whoa. Okay, now imagine scaling that capability. Using multiple agents maybe to handle, I don't know, 1 billion routine customer queries simultaneously.
Yeah.
That's like stacking Lego blocks of data processing on a massive scale.
That's the power, right? Workflow automation amplified. That's where things are heading.
Okay, mine's slightly blown. What's phase 4?
Phase 4 is choose a specialty. Once you have the foundation, go deep in one specific area.
Examples.
Maybe it's building custom AI applications for, say, real estate agents, or becoming an expert in advanced AI image creation for marketing, or AI for scientific research data analysis. Pick a niche.
Why specialize?
Because when the next new tool inevitably arrives in your niche, you'll already understand the core concepts and the problems people are trying to solve. You can integrate that new technology quickly because you have the deep context, instead of starting from scratch again.
Got it. One last point from the notes here. Q10, balancing speed and perfection when building.
Ah, yes, crucial. Don't spend 6 months trying to build the absolute perfect system right out of the gate.
Why not?
Because the underlying technology is changing way too fast. What's perfect today might be obsolete or easily done differently in 3 months.
So what's the approach?
Build something quick and simple. First, a minimum viable product. Test the core idea with maybe 5 users. Get feedback. Then iterate, slowly expand to 10 users, then 50. Test, learn, iterate, and grow. Perfection is the enemy of progress in such a fast-moving field.
So zooming out, what would you say is the ultimate return on investment for really mastering that systematic prompting skill we talk about in phase 2, like right now? The ultimate ROI. I think mastering that structured thinking, that ability to give clear, unambiguous instructions, it prepares you for whatever future technology comes next, whether it's today's LLMs or future image models or even, human-like robots that need precise tasks. It's a fundamental investment in clear communication with intelligent systems. So wrapping this all up was a big takeaway for you, the listener. I think it's that the people who truly win in this AI future, they won't necessarily be the ones who know every single tool that pops up.
No, definitely not. They'll be the ones who understand how to think strategically about problems. They'll know which fundamental tools and concepts are worth betting on long term. And maybe most importantly, they'll have the mindset and skills to actually get things done, to focus on building real value, not just collecting knowledge.
Avoid that constant trend chasing. Focus instead on learning a small set of foundational tools really deeply and apply them to solve real-world problems immediately. Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah. Stop collecting courses just for the sake of it. And please, stop jumping from shiny tool to shiny tool every month. The underlying tech will keep changing at a dizzying speed, but your skill in structured thinking, in systematic prompting, in problem decomposition, that will be your anchor.
So the call to action is simple.
Super simple. Your only task right now. Pick one small, achievable project that excites you and start building it today.